Imagine that you've been in a dark room your whole life, your entire life, and suddenly a light shines into the room you're in, and you're feeling like, wow, this is what it's like to see. That's how I felt when I discovered my blind spots. This video will be about why knowing your blind spots is key. If you're new here, I'm Risa, and I make videos dedicated to helping you create a life that you love to live. Let's get into it. Blind spots, like I said, are parts of you that are limiting you, preventing you from creating a life that you love to live. They can be certain fears you have, they can be traits that you have, and they can just be patterns. All of these things are actually just subconscious patterns. Whatever traits we have are subconscious patterns that we're used to having. Subconscious behavioral patterns. Growing up, I was always very studious, but I was often always indoors, very sedentary. On Roblox, I used to get jobs for fun. Like, that was my idea of fun. I was that type of kid. I was nice to people, but I could also be really harsh, and that was my blind spot. My blind spot was my struggle to relate to people and to things. So I would bump into people, both literally, as in like I would accidentally bump into people at times, but also on a relationship level. Like, I would say things in a way that came off judgmental. I would accidentally zone out at people and make them think I was glaring at them. I was constantly experiencing this awkwardness, and it was really hard. It made things a lot more difficult for me. But when I realized that this was just a blind spot of mine and that everyone has these blind spots, when I really understood it, instead of people just saying it like, oh, don't worry, everyone has their weaknesses. When I finally got that for myself, I felt that way, which is an understanding I got by studying the personality system I talk about on my channel. I finally felt freer. I felt that light shining into the dark room of my life. So now, as a result, I get to experience my life with compassion for others and their blind spots, compassion for myself, and then I make certain steps that take me out of my comfort zone and kind of challenge my natural blind spots a little bit. And they help make my blind spots not so much blind spots anymore. One of the things that I do is I consult people who are actually excelling at what I'm blind at. For example, my brother, he's actually almost the opposite of me. He's especially nice. He's more fluid with people, with things. He doesn't bump into things as easily, doesn't bump into people as easily, socially or physically. He is more easygoing. So I ask people who are more easygoing, who have that strength, who have that part of life figured out, their input, people who I trust, their input on specific things I'm struggling with, which helps a lot. And I asked myself, how can I be more like this courageous version of myself? What would I do if I had all the confidence? And usually that thing that I would do if I had all the confidence is something that someone who has no trouble with my blind spots, somebody who actually excels at the things I'm weak at or I struggle with, would be able to do a lot easily. So when you're able to free yourself of your blind spots, which is only possible once you know what your blind spots are, you get to be that much closer, one step closer to creating a life that you love to live. And that's why knowing your blind spots is key. Thanks for tuning in.